Hey guys, it's Hannah, and today I'm coming to you with a video all about some of my favorite book covers. So I know the saying goes, you can't judge a book by its cover, but let's be honest, I think all of us do this to some degree, whether that's subconsciously or consciously. Whether you're shopping in a physical bookstore, an online bookstore, or you're at the library, there will always be a book that you see on some distant shelf that just catches your eye and pulls you in. And that can be because you're drawn to the design of the cover, or the colors on the cover, or just the title of the book, whatever that may be. The cover of a book really matters as much as we like to say that it doesn't. And while I try not to judge the content of a book based on its cover, I know that I definitely do purchase some books because I like their covers over some other books. A few videos back, I asked you guys if you would like to see a video on some of my favorite book covers, and several of you said that you really would, so that is why I decided to make this video now. Apart from that though, I just absolutely love book covers. Some book covers are some of the most beautiful artwork I've ever seen, and I want to frame them and hang them up on my wall. So I'm not going to be talking about the content of any of these books in this video, we're just going to be talking about the covers. So without any further ado, let's get into 10 of my favorite book covers. The first cover I have here is this UK hardcover edition of Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I actually didn't buy this one solely based on the cover. I had seen the US cover first and I read the synopsis and it really intrigued me, and then I was looking on Book Depository and I saw this edition of it, and so I knew that I had to have it because this cover is absolutely stunning. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but it has gold foil detailing all over it and I love it. I just love shiny things. I'm like a crow. I'm like drawn to it. I don't know what it is, but it's just so beautiful to me. I also just really love the colors on this cover. The purple and green and gold just go so well together. The spine is also gorgeous. It has some more of the gold detail and it's this beautiful mint green color. I actually have read this one, so I can say that I think the cover goes really well with the story. There are these mysterious dark woods that surround this little town in the book, and I think this captures that really well. And the cover definitely has a magical feel to it, which again goes along really well with the story because it is a fantasy book. So I just absolutely adore this cover. I actually wasn't a huge fan of the book itself, but I just can't let go of it because I love this cover too much. The next cover I have here is the cover of The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. This is one of my all-time favorite books, and it definitely has one of my favorite covers, but it has one of my all-time favorite spines because this spine is so beautiful to me. This book is about this girl named Ava Lavender who was born with wings, so the feather is very telling of that and it goes along really well with the story, as well as the falling feathers along the spine. It's very true to the story, and apart from that, I just really like the font on the cover of this book. I'm a huge fan of cursive and script fonts, and I really like this one. I think it's very simplistic, but it's also very beautiful, and this one also has some of that like foil detailing. You can kind of see it. It's like a gold orange color and it just adds a little bit of shine to it, and this one definitely catches your eye when you're looking at it on a bookshelf. The next cover I have here is the cover of Nevernight by J. Kristoff. I absolutely love the cover of this book. This is the UK edition of Nevernight, and I specifically purchased this one because I like this cover better than the US cover. I love how dynamic this cover is, yet it's somehow also simplistic. It has so much detail. I don't know how well you can see it on camera, but there's a lot of detail in the crow or the raven here itself. Like there's swords and crosses and hands and bottles and cats and masks and other birds. Like there are just so many things within this one image, and it's so stunning. The other thing I really like about this book is that the cover carries on to the back, so the crow like wraps around the spine and then its wing is all the way onto the back with the feathers just like falling off. I think it just adds a really cool touch to it. The other gorgeous thing about this book is that it's not just the cover that's beautiful, but you also have like the inside end pages, which are like these starry skies, which are just gorgeous. And then when you take the dust jacket off, you have like the crow or raven again on here, and it's like printed in a different material so you can like see it, and again it like wraps onto the back and it's so stunning. I just love this book overall. I've yet to read this one, so I don't know how well the cover ties into the whole story, but from the amount of detail that's on here, I'm assuming that it will tie in pretty well. The next one of my favorite covers is the cover of The Grace Keepers by Christy Logan. This is probably my favorite book cover of all of the books that I own because this cover is just so gorgeous. I can't get over it. It's one of those soft buttery covers, so it's really nice to the touch. And then again, it has some of that like foil, like shiny detail to it, and this time it's silver. I haven't finished this book, but I have started reading it, and the cover definitely goes really well with the theme of the story because it is about this girl who is part of a traveling circus and she has a bear, so it makes a lot of sense. With this one, similar to Nevernight, the cover wraps around to the back, and then on the back side we have this other girl, and it's just so beautiful. The entire thing just goes so well together. When you open it up, you have these gorgeous blue map end pages, which I am absolutely in love with. I love the color scheme of this, and I love the art style. And then what's even better is when you take the dust jacket off, the cover itself is again super buttery, and then it just continues on with like the image that the dust jacket had, but this time in the ocean there are mermaids swimming in it, and there's like a starry sky above, and this is like pretty much everything I love in an image. So yeah, just purely based on aesthetic, this is one of my favorite books that I own. It's so beautiful, and I was really intrigued by the synopsis when I first read this one, but it was definitely the cover of this that made me buy it. The next cover I want to talk about is the cover of The Golem and the Jinni by Helene Wecker. One of my favorite things about this cover is the fact that it has this border. I think it's really unique, and you don't see that many books with like borders on the cover, and that border carries all the way around. It's on the spine as well as on the back of the book, and I just think that's a really unique character that this book has. Along with that, this has the shiny gold foil, which I absolutely love, and I also really like the color contrast on this one. It uses complementary colors, so it has like the gold kind of orange for the border and then this dark blue, and I think that it's very eye-catching because of that. Apart from that, the other great thing about this book is that it has blue stained pages, and it's this gorgeous dark blue that matches just the regular hardcover itself without the dust jacket. So when you take it off, it like looks so cool. But yeah, apart from that, I really don't know what this book is about. I'd heard a few things about it prior to purchasing it, but I definitely bought this one because I loved the entire cover and just book design in general. The next cover I have here is the cover of The Watchmaker of Filigree Street by Natasha Pulley. I absolutely love hardcovers that don't have dust jackets. I think they look so cool, and this is definitely no exception to that. This one is amazing. Again, I love the colors on the cover of this book. I think that they're very bold and definitely something that will catch your eye from across the room. I think the design itself is also really interesting. I don't understand a lot of it. It looks like it has like dynamite here, and there are some bombs, and then there are some like cogs here and an octopus, and I really don't know how any of that goes together because I've yet to read this book. And then it has this stopwatch right here, which is actually a cutout, so when you open it up, it has these end pages which are like this map of the city, and then it has the stopwatch right here. So I just really like the whole cutout thing. I think it's really cool when books do that, and I think this one is just really fun. The next cover I have to talk about has to be on this list because I cannot talk about my favorite covers and not talk about this book because it has one of my all-time favorite covers, and that of course is the cover of The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. Now, as many of you know, or you can probably see on my shelves, I have 5 copies of The Night Circus, and I love every single one of the covers, but specifically for the sake of this video, we're going to keep it to the US hardcover edition of this book because honestly, this is probably my favorite one. You all know that this is my favorite book of all time, and the cover of it is also one of my all-time favorite covers. I'm a huge space nerd, so I love stars and planets and things like that, so whenever I see stars on a cover, I am automatically more drawn to that cover. I also love the detailing around the title, The Night Circus, and also of course I love the font of it because it's again really simplistic. I've mentioned that several times in this video, but I really like simplistic fonts, and I also really like cursive fonts, but for this one I think that the simplistic font goes really well. And apart from that, I love the symbolism of this cover. If you've read the book, the cover makes a lot of sense. The book is about a magical circus, so of course you have the circus right here in the palm of this hand, and then there's this big clock, and the clock plays a major role in the story as well, and then of course there's the hand that holds the circus itself, which is representative of some of the themes in the book that I don't want to go into because I don't want to spoil anything. And aside from the cover itself, I love the spine of this book. You have the black and white stripes along with the red, which are all thematic for the story, and then like several of the other books on this list, the other thing I love is that the end pages of this book are gorgeous. Again, you have the black and white stripes, And then when you take off the dust jacket, the cover itself, the bare cover, is so beautiful. It looks like an old vintage leather-bound classic book, and I think that that's so perfect for this story. So yeah, I could talk about this book cover for days because it is hands down one of my favorite book covers I've ever seen. The next cover I have to talk about is The Constellation of Vital Phenomena by Anthony Mara. This cover has so many things that I love. I love the color scheme of it. I love how it goes from this beautiful like light blue color into this pinkish color at the bottom. It looks like the sky when it's those really, really pretty colors, sometimes like right before sunset or in the early morning at sunrise. And I think they really captured that in this cover. I also really like the simplistic font of the title and the author's name. And I also really like that it's written in white because it doesn't stand out too much. It's really, really subtle, and I really like that about it. And then my favorite part of this cover are the tiny little gold shiny stars on it. I think you can see it if I put it up close. Yeah. They're so, so cute. Like I said, I love stars on book covers, and these, again, like the title, are very subtle, so I think that it adds a really unique quality to the cover of this book. The spine and back cover are also really beautiful. You have the white spine and the gold stars carry over, and then the black on the back of the book, which is really, really bold, and I really like that. And it, again, has the gold stars all over. I've yet to read the book, so I don't know how well the cover ties into the story, but I definitely think that it ties into the title with the stars and constellation, so it is definitely one of my favorite covers that I own. The next book I have to talk about is a very recent release, actually, and it is also a book that I was highly anticipating regardless of the cover, but when I saw the cover, I fell in love, and that is the cover of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, the screenplay by J.K. Rowling. This is truly one of the most beautiful book covers I have ever seen, and I kind of want them to re-release all of the Harry Potter books with covers designed like this, with like gold or silver foil or something, because I think that that would be absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, I love how shiny this cover is. You can see it from like a mile away. There are so many different aspects to it. I love that it has like a little border. I love that it has the beasts through all the detailing here. You have a Niffler, you have so many of the other ones, I don't even remember their names, but I think that it's such a magical cover, which is perfect for the Harry Potter world. It has the stars, it has the gold, it has all the magical creatures, and I just think it's so, so perfect. And the very last book cover I have here is the cover of Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. Honestly, I could show the covers for each of the books in the trilogy, but for now, we're just gonna keep it to the first book. I actually intentionally purchased these over the US covers because I didn't like the US covers at all, and I know that this is really petty of me, but I was planning on just not picking up the series at all. I wasn't interested in it because I'd only seen the US covers, and then I finally read the synopsis, and then I saw the UK covers, and I knew that I had to pick them up because I am in love with these. There's just this sheen to the cover of these books that I have not seen on any other covers. It's these beautiful purple and blue with a little bit of green feathers on the cover, which are very thematic for the story, as well as this gorgeous font on the cover. I want to know what font this is because I want to type everything in it because it's so pretty. It's definitely the colors and the shininess of this cover that gets me, but I also love how the back of it ties in. The back has like this cityscape, and then it has like the dark looming clouds above, which is very relevant to the story. So I just love how well the cover ties into the story, as well as just how beautiful it is on its own. So this was definitely a book that was recommended to me, and I was just interested in the synopsis myself, but the UK covers definitely gave me incentive to buy them. Alright guys, so that is it for my favorite book covers. I obviously have many, many more. I just kept it to hardcovers in this video. I could definitely do another one that is just paperback books. I could definitely do a part 2 of more hardcover books. I could do one that's just solely series. I could make so many videos on just my favorite book covers. So if you would like to see any more of these videos, definitely let me know in the comments down below and I will gladly make them. But also let me know in the comments down below what are some of your favorite book covers, if any of the books that I mentioned have some of your favorite covers, or if there are other covers that you think that I should definitely check out, because as we all know, I buy so many books because I like their covers. It's kind of a problem, but a lot of the time it really works out, so I'm okay with it. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!